Hello. As Wendy said, my name is Tracy Riggins. I work at RTI Biologics. I promise you that everything that's in this folder I'm not going to read to you. So, but I need a place to keep everything. What I do want to read to you, though, is a definition of the working poor. I found this definition and I thought it kind of summed up everything. I don't like to talk about myself, so I'll tell you that up front. So if I cry or do anything, that's because it's just really hard for me to talk about me. I rather talk about other people and other things. Okay, so working poor are people who are economically disadvantaged despite the fact that they are fully employed. The working poor do not have sufficient income to improve their overall lifestyle. Okay, so other things that I looked up to share with you are, in our country, poverty is considered, for a family of four, $22,350 for a family of four. So if you can imagine making that type of money and trying to take care of four people, it's really hard. When we talk about free and reduced lunch in schools, and we have some schools here in Alachua County where 95% of their kids are receiving free and reduced lunch. For a family of four, that's an annual income of $29,000. And the max to receive free and reduced lunch is $41,000 for a family of four. So a lot of people fall in that category. I was one of those people. So because of United Way, one of the things that a lot of times we see people in need and we think that they're looking for a handout. It's really the opposite. If you're working full-time and you still can't support your family, you're looking for a handout. You need someone to help you. And that's what the United Way did for me. About 13 years ago, I went through a divorce and I raised three children, still raising three children on my own. I have a son who's 18, a daughter who's 16, and a daughter who's 14. And I fell in that category of the working poor. I had no idea that was me. I went to get support for my children as far as getting them a head start, not looking for anyone to give me anything. I just needed daycare. And they told me that I couldn't get any assistance because I had a full-time job, and where I fell I wasn't poor enough to get help. So my children were in Head Start, and every day it was a constant struggle thinking about how am I going to feed my kids, how am I going to keep a roof over their head, keep the lights on, and keep my car. So I live in Alachua, and I had to drive to Shands to go to work. That's a long ride, and with gas prices how they are now, I don't think I could have made it. So, but one of the things that happened, I remember at Shands, they really support the United Way. And one of the things I learned about some of the organizations that help out, so I knew about Catholic Charities, and I called and I got assistance. They helped me, and also the Children's Home Society was assigned to my family through the courts for visitations with their dad. Actually, they visit them so much, they thought their dad lived there. So they really helped me. So once I started working, I was taking care of my kids. I had to put them all on my insurance because I didn't qualify for Medicaid or any other assistance. So then your income goes down even more. And as soon as I started looking around and trying to figure out how am I going to do this. And as soon as I had an opportunity to give back to Catholic Charities, I did. And that was through United Way and payroll deduction at Shands. And it wasn't much. I want to say I've been thinking about it, and I think I probably was able to give like $2 out of every paycheck. That's not a lot of money. So $2, but 26 paychecks, you're getting like $52 a year. But the first 3 years, I made sure to designate that my money went to Catholic Charities because I wanted to pay them back for helping me. So over the years, as time went on, I started to give more. And as I went up in giving, I would notice that, it wasn't that hard. I don't even miss it because it's coming out of my paycheck, so I'm going to keep giving more. And so last year, for the first time, we had our leadership breakfast. And I was sitting there and I kind of did the calculation. I said, you know what, I think I can be a leadership giver if I do this by doing a payroll deduction. And I sat there and I figured it out, and I gave the money, and I did it. I remember our benefits went up slightly. We had some things change. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to get my money back. But I didn't. I kept it there. And then this year, I did it the second year in a row without even thinking about it. I was able to sit down and kind of do the calculation and say, oh, I can go up just a little bit. I can do that. And it feels good to be able to give back. And I really appreciate the United Way because they don't just help one group, they help everybody. They're trying to give and help and spread it out among our community. So the other thing that I appreciate about it is the community outreach. I've looked on the list, and I know they give to Catholic Charities. I know they've given to the Children's Home Society, but they give to Big Brothers Big Sisters. Also a program that helped me when I was in elementary school. They gave me a mentor right at Alachua Elementary. Someone came and they supported me. The Child Advocacy Center. I've had a chance to tour that facility, and they really help abused children. And it's one of those, and the therapy rooms and all the things that they do to help those kids is amazing. Elder Care of Gainesville, I had an opportunity at Shands to work with that group. And as well, they also help the Riker House. I've learned a lot about them by reaching out and being a part of the Black on Black Crime Task Force. There is so much that the United Way does, and they're doing a lot of good in our community. So why not help? A lot of times, we need money and we need your time. We need them both. But money really touches and will give a family a chance to make it to that next step, to get to that next place, to help them keep their lights on, to help them feed their children, to help them keep a car. All those things, money is needed to do that, and that support is needed in our community. So when you're sitting and you're thinking about giving and you're thinking about how much you can help someone, think, why not? Why not dig a little deeper? Why not give a little bit more? And each year, think about it and make that sacrifice. Because you're not just helping some stranger, you're helping someone like me, your neighbor in your community.